Life has a way of surprising us. We often think we have everything figured out, we have our plans, and everything seems to be going smoothly. But then, something unexpected happens. A door closes, a chapter ends, and we're left wondering what's next. It's in these moments that we must remind ourselves of one of the most powerful truths. Sometimes, the challenges we face are God's way of replacing what no longer serves us with something better. We may find ourselves losing jobs, relationships, or opportunities we thought were the answer to our prayers. It's easy to feel devastated, questioning what went wrong or why things didn't turn out as planned. But let me tell you something. These moments are not failures. They are opportunities for growth. These are God's replacements. In the journey of life, God's timing is perfect, even when we can't understand it. We don't always know what's coming next, but He does. When a door closes, it's not the end of the story. It's a redirection. It's an invitation to step into something new, something bigger, something better than what we had before. We are often too attached to the things we think we need, or the people we think we can't live without. But sometimes God will remove those things to make space for what's truly meant for us. The replacements God sends our way are not random. They are designed for our growth, our healing, and our ultimate success. We need to trust the process, even when we don't see the full picture. Trust that the things, people, and opportunities that are being replaced were never truly meant to be permanent. It doesn't matter how much we love them or how hard we tried to make them work. If they are not aligned with God's plan for us, they will eventually fall away. This doesn't mean we shouldn't grieve or feel sadness when things change. It's natural to feel pain when we lose something we thought we needed. But we must also remember that God is always working in our favor. He knows our hearts, our desires, and our needs far better than we do. And if something is being replaced, it's because He has something better in store. The replacements God sends may not always look like what we expected. They may not come in the form of a new job, a new relationship, or a new opportunity right away. Sometimes the replacement is a lesson, a new perspective, or the strength to keep going when you thought you couldn't. These replacements may be quiet, subtle shifts, but they are always powerful. When we embrace the replacements God sends our way, we open ourselves up to new possibilities. We let go of the past and step into the future with faith. We trust that what is being replaced was only a stepping stone to what is ahead. And we don't fear the unknown because we know that with God, the unknown is where the miracles happen. There's a saying, when one door closes, another opens. But we must be willing to walk through that open door. We must embrace the replacement. We must believe that God's plan for us is always greater than our own. The replacement may be uncomfortable at first. It may require us to step out of our comfort zones, face our fears, or let go of our control. But it will always lead us to something more fulfilling, more rewarding, and more aligned with our true purpose. Embracing the replacements also means trusting God's process. It means letting go of our impatience and our need for instant gratification. It means understanding that sometimes the best things take time to materialize. We may have to wait, we may have to struggle, but we must believe that God is with us every step of the way, guiding us toward our destiny. As we embrace the replacements God is sending, we also become more resilient. We learn that we can face adversity and come out stronger on the other side. We realize that our value isn't tied to any one person, place, or thing. Our value is in who we are as children of God. We are worthy of all the blessings He has in store for us. So, if you find yourself facing a loss, a change, or an unexpected challenge, remember this: God is sending replacements your way. Trust Him. Trust the process. Embrace the new opportunities, the new relationships, the new beginnings. Believe that this is part of your divine purpose and that everything is happening for your good. In the end, the replacements God sends are the answers to your prayers, the fulfillment of your dreams. They are the tools that will shape you into the person you were always meant to be. So don't fear the changes, don't resist the growth. Embrace the replacements. Know that God is always working in your favor and that greater things are ahead. Stay faithful, stay positive, and trust the journey. Your best days are yet to come. Sometimes in life, we hold on to things, people, and situations that are no longer meant for us. We become attached to our plans, our expectations, and our desires, thinking that we know what's best for us. But what if I told you that every loss, every closed door, and every setback is actually God making room for something greater? God's plan is always bigger than our own. He sees what we cannot see, and He knows what is best for us, even when we don't understand. The things we lose, the people who walk away, and the opportunities that slip through our fingers are not random. They are all part of God's divine plan. You may have lost a job you loved, but what if that loss was a setup for something greater? You may have gone through a heartbreak, but what if that pain was God protecting you from something that wasn't truly meant for you? What if the closed doors were actually a blessing in disguise? God is always in control, and He is always working behind the scenes. When He removes something from your life, it's not to harm you, it's to prepare you for something better. But the problem is, we don't always recognize the replacements when they come. We resist change. We cling to the past. We try to force things that are no longer meant to be. But let me tell you this, if something is being removed from your life, let it go. Trust that God knows what He is doing. Trust that He is replacing what you lost with something greater than you ever imagined. It may not happen right away. You may go through a season of waiting, a season of uncertainty, a season where you feel like nothing is happening. But trust me, God is always working. He is aligning the right people, the right opportunities, and the right moments to bring you into your destiny. Sometimes the replacements come in unexpected ways. You may not recognize them at first. You may feel like things are falling apart, but in reality, they are falling into place. What you thought was a loss was actually a blessing. What you thought was rejection was actually God's redirection. We have to be willing to trust the process. We have to believe that God's plan is greater than our own. We have to let go of our limited thinking and open our hearts to the new things He is bringing into our lives. Think about a time in your life when you lost something and later realized it was for the best. Maybe you lost a friendship that you thought would last forever, but years later, you saw that it was toxic. Maybe you were heartbroken over a missed opportunity, only to find out that something much better was waiting for you. God's replacements are always for our good. He doesn't take away anything without replacing it with something greater. It may not always be in the form we expect, but it will always be in alignment with our purpose. We have to learn to surrender. We have to stop holding on to things that no longer serve us. We have to stop resisting change and start embracing it. Because on the other side of that change is something beautiful, something powerful, something life-changing. If you are going through a season of loss, I want you to remember this. God is making room. He is clearing out the old so He can bring in the new. He is removing what is not meant for you so He can bless you with what is. The replacements God sends may challenge you. They may stretch you. They may take you out of your comfort zone. But trust me, they are exactly what you need. You may not understand now, but one day you will look back and realize that every loss was actually a gain. Every setback was actually a setup. Every closed door was actually leading you to something greater. God's timing is perfect. His plan is perfect. And if you trust Him, you will see that everything is working together for your good. Don't be afraid of the replacements. Don't resist the changes. Don't fear the unknown, because the unknown is where miracles happen. Your life is not falling apart. It's falling into place. Your struggles are not in vain. They are building you into the person you are meant to be. Your losses are not the end. They are the beginning of something new. So embrace the replacements. Trust God's process. Walk in faith, knowing that what's coming is greater than what's gone. Your best days are not behind you, they are ahead of you. And what God has in store for you is more than you could ever imagine. Stay faithful, stay positive, stay open to the new blessings coming your way, because the best is yet to come. Life is a journey filled with unexpected turns, and sometimes what feels like a loss is actually a blessing in disguise. We pray for success, for love, for opportunities, but when God begins to shift things, we often resist. Why? Because we're comfortable, because we're afraid of change, because we don't realize that what's being taken away was never meant to last. You might be in a season of uncertainty, feeling like everything is being stripped away. The job you relied on, the relationship you poured your heart into, the plans you made. It's all shifting, and you don't understand why. We often hold on to things too tightly, thinking we know what's best for us. But have you ever considered that what you're holding on to might be the very thing blocking your next blessing? You lose a job, and you feel like your world is ending. But then, weeks or months later, you find yourself in a position that pays more, challenges you more, and brings you more fulfillment. You go through heartbreak, thinking you'll never find love again, only to meet someone who truly values and respects you in ways you never experienced before. God's replacements are always an upgrade, but you won't see that if you keep focusing on what's gone instead of what's coming. One of the hardest lessons in life is learning to let go. We cling to what's familiar, even when it no longer serves us. We try to force relationships that have run their course. We stay in jobs that drain us. We hold on to habits and mindsets that limit our growth. But when God starts replacing things in your life, don't fight it. Let go of what's leaving, because what's coming is better. You can't receive what God is sending if your hands are full of what He's asking you to release. God's replacements aren't just random swaps. They are alignments with your purpose. Sometimes, what we think we want isn't what we actually need. That's why God steps in. You wanted that job, but God knew it would make you miserable. You wanted that relationship to work, but God saw the heartbreak ahead. You wanted that opportunity, but God knew there was a better one waiting. One of the most frustrating things is waiting. You know God is making changes, but you don't see the new thing yet. It's like standing in an empty room, wondering when the furniture will arrive. Strengthen your faith. Trust that what's coming is worth the wait. Prepare yourself. The new opportunity requires a new mindset, a new level of discipline, a new version of you. Stay open. The replacement might not look like what you expected, but trust that it's exactly what you need. How you handle the transition will shape your future. If you stay bitter, stuck in what was, you'll miss what is. But if you shift your mindset and embrace what God is doing, you'll step into greater blessings. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is God preparing me for?" Instead of dwelling on what's lost, focus on what's ahead. Instead of resisting change, embrace it with faith. Your attitude in the transition determines your altitude in the blessing. Right now, you may not understand why things are shifting. You may feel confused, hurt, or even frustrated. But one day, you will look back and thank God for every replacement. Every rejection was protection. Every loss was preparation. Every closed door was redirection. And when that day comes, you won't just understand, you'll rejoice. Because you'll know that God never took anything from you. He only made space for something greater. Life doesn't always go the way we plan. We make decisions, build relationships, set goals, and work hard for what we want. But sometimes, despite our best efforts, things fall apart. People leave. Opportunities slip through our fingers. The path we were walking suddenly disappears, and we find ourselves standing in the middle of uncertainty. It's in these moments that faith is tested. Do you trust that God is in control? Do you believe that every closed door is leading you to a better one? Do you understand that what you see as a loss is actually a divine replacement? God doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't take away anything that's meant for you. He doesn't let you experience loss without preparing something greater in its place. But the problem is, most of us struggle to see it. We get stuck mourning what's gone instead of making room for what's coming. Most people fear change because it feels uncomfortable. We love stability, predictability, and familiarity. But growth never happens in comfort. You can't step into your destiny while clinging to your history. You can't receive God's new blessings while holding on to old baggage. You can't become who you're meant to be if you refuse to let go of who you were. Change is necessary for transformation. The very thing you're afraid of might be the key to unlocking your purpose. The things that are leaving your life are not meant to harm you. They are meant to free you.